Embrace your journey.
What you guys done is amazing.
Kevin Durant is very tough to guard.
This is bigger than basketball. This is bigger than myself.
Still got a ring, I don't. So however I can help these young men and push them onto the path that they want to follow.
Hello to all these young stars out there from the DC, Maryland, and Virginia. My name is Marc Spears. On and Off the Court is a live exclusive video conversation hosted for participants of the My Brothers Keepers Alliance. Natasha, starting with you, just talk about the importance of education in your life.
My parents embedded in me that, school came first and basketball always came second, because at the end of the day, what I learned in school, what I got out of my degree was going to take me further than, the game of basketball ever could. And that still remains true till this day. But especially, I was one of those kids that I didn't necessarily like going to school. I wasn't the best. It was, I really had to put in a lot of work to be, a scholar athlete. But I understood that, my education was more so important than anything.
I was a nerd. But in a great way. Like I loved school. My mom was an AD of a school, so I had to get good grades. She also taught me how to play basketball, so those kind of went hand in hand in our household. But for me, it was understanding that, I kind of put basketball and school in the same boat. Like I made them competitive. Like I got something out of both of them, right? And so a lot of us as kids, we don't like school. Like we don't like going to school. We don't like the long hours. We don't like the work. We don't like the tests. But you have to figure out ways to enjoy it. Just like in basketball, you may not like sprints. You may not like coach. You may not like something that he's doing. You may not like a teammate. But you have to figure out a way to get your job done. You have to figure out a way to get the win at the end of the day. And so I've always kind of channeled my mental to be that way. And knowing that, they're kind of hand in hand, and life is bigger than just basketball. And, when I'm done hooping, when Natasha's done hooping, we're going to be 30-something, end of our 30s, and looking at life like, okay, what's next? And so, we have to be able to have some type of education background, some type of foundation that we can, go back to and build on post basketball.
How did you know that basketball could do special things for you? When did you?
Definitely going into high school. When I was younger, I'm a hyper kid. So my parents put me in literally every sport just to kind of tire me out. But definitely by high school, I figured out that basketball was my love and passion. And, the first initial thought was I can take this game and I can get a free education. And that was like amazing for me. Obviously, that dream of playing in the WNBA was always in the back of my head. But first and foremost, I wanted to get a degree out of it. And my family couldn't afford to send me to college. That's just being real. So I really worked hard with that education in mind. And then, when I got to that point in college, I was like, no, I can take this to the next level. Like, I'm good enough. I believe in myself. So I just stayed the course, and I stayed true to myself and who I was. And I had one team believe in me, and I'm with that team 7 years later now and brought a WNBA championship to that team as well.
Talk about your upbringing and your greatest challenges on and off the court.
I would be lying if I sat here and said my journey was a cakewalk. Like it wasn't, and it never is for anybody. Like it takes work, and it sounds cliche, like, yeah, hard work pays off, but it honestly does. Like you have to honestly work at it. You have to embrace it. Like Natasha said, I'm a big fan of that word. Embrace your journey, embrace your highs, embrace your lows, embrace your adverse times, because you need them. That's what builds your character. That's what builds who you are. For me, St. Louis is tough. Like you said, I went to an all-white school, but grew up in the hood. And so I kind of got backlash from everybody. Like no one accepted me at my school, and my friends in my neighborhood hated the fact that I went to that school. And so that was tough mentally, like as a young kid, trying to really grasp that and understand that. Like, but for me personally, I was just trying to better myself. I was trying to challenge myself. I knew that this school would prepare me academically for whatever I wanted to in life. Granted, sports program was what it was. They were great, but I knew that this school would keep me out of trouble. It would keep me from doing things I shouldn't be doing. And so as a young kid, I had to make tough decisions. And one of them was the school I decided to go to. But one thing I always credit is, and I recommend everybody have, is a great support system. So my family was my support system and my brothers. And that was it. That was my circle. I didn't let anybody get inside of that. Nobody outside of that had any alterations of my decision-making or whatever we did. That was who I went to for answers, for support. And to this day, it still remains the same.
Can you tell us about the work you've been doing over the past few years with the Ron Brown College Preparatory High School in DC? Shout out to Ron Brown fellas on the call.
My God.
And why has it been such a meaningful experience to you that you regularly talk about?
It's been awesome to be able to just mentor them, to be able to speak to them, to be able to provide scholarships for 5 students last year to go to HBCUs. So I was just, however I can help these young men and push them onto the path that they want to follow, I try to do so.
Natasha, kudos to you, because I think it is important that Black men just don't have male mentors, that they have female mentors as well. Nearly 1 in 3 young people will grow up without a mentor, unfortunately. This gap is even more acute for boys and young men of color, yet research confirms that young adults who are at risk for falling off track but had a mentor are 52% more likely to attend school regularly and 55% more likely to enroll in college. Natasha, what profound impact can mentorship have on a young person's life, and how did it have on you, mentors, impact you personally?
It was huge for me. I have, while Brad is, the middle child out of 5, I'm the youngest of 5. And I have 3 older sisters. So I had those mentors in my home. But then I also had mentors in the game, and they were so pivotal for helping to guide me through life. Like Brad says, I commend him. I know that we're really proud of him. I'm really proud of him for what he's done in his mentorships of allowing kids to see different opportunities for themselves, see themselves in a different light, that you don't have to take, there isn't only a path A and B, there's a C, D, E, F, whatever you want. And I think for me, especially, they were pivotal in my just developing into a young woman, a young Black woman, preparing me for this world that I was about to go into, especially for myself individually, being a little naive when I was younger, growing up in a white family, not necessarily knowing what was going on in the world. I had those Black mentors, those strong women that showed me what it meant to be a strong Black woman in America. And so, mentors are important. And I think me and Brad both understand our platforms and our roles, and we take it very seriously, and how we uphold ourselves and making sure that everything in our house is in order. Understanding that we have young eyes, whether it is young males or females, looking to us as guidance. And we definitely don't take that for granted.
Bradley, for the young men watching this interview, you are a reflection of themselves and their journey, and you serve as a tangible example of what they hope to be and achieve in life. What advice would you give these guys? It's
like what we said earlier, the big E word, embrace. Like Natasha said, and I said earlier, embrace who you are, embrace living your truth, embrace the challenges of school, embrace how hard they may be, and you got to work at it. Nothing is going to come easy. Nothing's going to be easy. And no journey or step in your path to whatever it is that you want to be will be easy. There's going to be some obstacle that crosses your path. Mm-hmm. Something. And you have to work through it, around it, over it, whatever it is. You have to be able to get through that to get to your end goal. And that obstacle is going to build up who you are in the end. Also, it's about your opportunities. Take advantage of your opportunities you're given. They don't always come our way as Black men in this world. They don't come our way. You have to see when they're good, when they're bad, understand the difference, and go for it.
I wanted to ask you, take us into your decision not to play last season, the emotions of it, the aftermath of it, and just how did you decide to make such a, y'all just won a title now.
Mm-hmm. We did.
Trying to repeat. Can you take us back into that decision?
It's the hardest decision that I've had to make thus far in my career. Like you said, we're coming off a championship season in 2019. For me personally, as a player, I was coming off one of my best seasons as the point guard of this team. But George Floyd happens. And I think for Black and brown people, that's our reality every single day. But it was the first time that I've truly seen white America be like, oh, this is what y'all talking about. Yes, this is why we are screaming Black Lives Matters at the top of our life, or at the top of our lungs. This is our reality every single day. And 2 days later, I'm expected to be on a player rep call because I'm the player rep for the Mystics. I'm supposed to be talking about going into a wobble. And I'm like, whoa, can we slow it down? Like, this is our reality right now. And we're talking about a game of basketball. And so in that moment, it was just like, this is bigger than basketball. This is bigger than myself. This is bigger than the Mystics. And I need to take advantage of this time where there's so much momentum behind this movement of pushing the needle forward to a more equitable country. And just that feeling of, I don't want my kids to grow up the same way I did. I don't want them to have to feel this trauma. I don't want them to be, again, seen as less than or inferior to, or as a threat. And for me, it's always been to be impactful means to be present. And so I want to be at these marches. I want to be marching on Juneteenth with Brad and the Mystics and the Wizards in DC. I didn't feel that I personally could be a champion on the court and be a champion in my community. And so a lot of people ask me now, like, okay, so what's the difference? You sat out last season. Why play this season? Well, I laid all my groundwork over the summer. Everything that I'm passionate about, everything that I feel that I need to be vocal about and utilize my platform for, everything is fully functioning and working so that I can go, try to win a championship on the court, but then also everything's working behind the scenes so I can still be a champion in my community as well.
Bradley,
Mm-hmm.
how y'all gonna get this playing game, man? And what's the key for y'all making that happen, and not only making that happen, but getting into the playoffs? Because I think y'all scary if you guys get in.
Yeah, we are. We really are. One is being healthy. I think being healthy is always key. Without all your soldiers, you can't. Be a tough battle. And for us, we pride ourselves on all 15 being available and having an impact. But we've been playing really good. It's been a defensive mindset, and it's really been a tale of two seasons, I say. In the beginning of the year we probably have a list of excuses, whether it's COVID, whether it's, players being injured, bringing guys up from the G in and out, not really having good camaraderie, not really having a good identity as a team. And then post break, once the deadline hit, we add Daniel Gafford and Hutchinson. Like it's, we are who we are now. There's no changes being made. And now you have a certain amount of games to push. And so literally we've just been pushing, and it's been clicking, and it's all been on defense. And that's the only way we're gonna get into it. We got momentum now. We're sitting in 10th. But I want to move up a little higher if we can. Obviously help from other teams, losing, but I want to move up a little higher. We're definitely upset with where we are. We feel like we should be a lot higher, a little bit more comfortable with being in the playoffs. But we're in a good position. We will be scary, for sure.
Natasha, how tough was it for you to watch your team lose in the playoffs in the first round? And I'm sure you wanted to break inside the bubble just to try to help save the day, but couldn't. How challenging was that for you?
Oh, it was really hard, but they are also my sanity as well. Being able to watch the Mystics, being able to watch my wife play. She's a professional softball player. They were definitely my sanity. But, Lord, I almost broke that TV a few times, yelling at it, throwing some things at it. But it was a really, really good opportunity. You had me sitting out. You had Della Don sitting out. You had Tina Charles sitting out. So a lot of responsibility fell on those younger players to step into those leadership roles. You have Ariel Atkins, who is now, a vet for what she went through in the Wubble. You have Maisha Hines-Allen that was able to get more experience, more playing time, and really just have a breakout season. So, while it was hard for me, I also saw the beauty and the positives in it for those young players. So now we come back into a 2021 season and we're better for it. So now it's just really just getting all the new faces together and figuring out, each other and just figuring out our strengths and weaknesses. But I'm really proud of those girls. And no one thought they would make it to the playoffs. I still think they could have won that first game, but to get to that point, to lose, 3 of your main starters and still get to that point, I commend those women a lot. And I also commend Brad. Brad's not going to talk about, himself too much, but I got a chance to come in. I think it was, 2 years after you, Brad?
Mm-hmm.
And so I've seen Brad grow from, a young player. He's always been a bucket getter, a two-way player on both ends of the floor, into a leader of his team and a leader of his soldiers. And it's been a really cool thing for me to see. And obviously we have a really close relationship between our two teams, but watching his leadership, it makes me better. Watching these guys grind and push for this playoff spot after, like you said, the tale of two seasons, it makes us work harder on the other side watching them. So I commend you, Brad, and I give you your flowers now, because who you were when I first came in to who you are now, you've grown.
You still got a ring, I don't. So,
Brad, I don't know that Russell Westbrook has influenced your clothing and fashion at all, but what is it like to play with him, and also what is he like off the court for people that don't get a chance?
He'll impact probably every area of your life. No, he's been great, but it's been so ironic because from the beginning of the year before the trade, there's always the misconception of Russ. He's a bad teammate. He doesn't get along with coaches or his team, and it's just all about me, 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 me. It's the complete opposite. And I love everything about him. He's a great character guy. And then his approach to the basketball game is what I feel like helped me have the year I'm having. And it helped us kind of turn the year around. His level of accountability is man, it's I'm trying to figure out the word to even say, but you want that. He pushes himself to levels that you don't even think exist. And to be on the other side of that, playing against him for years and seeing, how's he getting triple doubles every game? There's no way he's getting it. To actually seeing it night in and night out, it's he has a different motor, and it's all up here and it's all in here, and you can't teach that. It's either you have it or you don't. But what I love about him is that he tries to bring it out of everybody. He tries to bring it out of the 15th guy, a guy who probably won't play that much. But when he does get that opportunity, he wants you to play exceptionally well. And that's what I love about him. He just wants to win. He wants to be the best player that he can be. He wants to uplift all his teammates. And that's one thing I stole from him, is his mental approach to the game, because I hear him I have a voice in my head. It's Russ. Just keep going, B. He just said, keep going, B. Keep going. Keep going. And he's been terrific. I definitely tip my hat off to him, because I see why he was the MVP of our league.
Natasha, there's gonna be some woman that's gonna come at you. She rusty. She ain't play last year. She ain't ready.
Yeah.
What you got for him this season?
I love what Brad said, because it's always been me too. You're never really going to see me jawing. You're going to see me getting up on defense, and I'm going to jaw that way. But my game's going to speak for itself. And I understand what I put in, the work I put in this offseason to get back, to get that rust off me. So I'm just really excited for this opportunity. I feel like at this point in my career, I don't have anything left to prove to someone else, but I have a lot of things that I still want to accomplish in my career. And so that's what motivates me every day is, coming out here, leading this team, making sure that my house is in order, and kind of being like what Brad and Russ are for the Wizards. I need to be that for the Mystics, and I need to be that motor. I need to be that leader on the court. And, I have goals for myself as a player. I want to be an all-star. I want to be a first-team all-defensive player. I want to be defensive player of the year. And I know I have that in me. So this is, about me just keeping those blinders on, that tunnel vision, in the sense of just getting it done.
So why are y'all going to win the title, Natasha? Why are you guys going to get that ring back? What's the key?
Healthy bodies. That's something that has kind of hurt us early. Having healthy bodies, 1 through 11 on our squad. But also we have this environment and this culture that we worked really hard to build. And that was what the difference was in 2019, is that we're so close off the court. We're a legit family that translates on the court. So if y'all can have my back off the court, I know we're going to go to war on the court. And so when you come down the stretch and, a really, really close finals, it's those little things that matter. And so now that we have a championship under our belt, we know what the blueprint is. It's just everyone needs to do their job and everyone needs to be 1% better.
What is your mentality against playing the Lakers?
We don't worry about other teams. Like, I think that's been the difference in our kind of mindset. Like, we worry about what we do. We worry about our approach, our defensive concepts, sticking to them, trusting each other, trusting our game plan. And me personally, it's just being aggressive at all times. And that's just always my mindset. And we have that. Everybody's kind of playing to the best of their ability, their top game right now, and it's perfect timing because it's right before the playoffs.
Who in your opinion is the toughest person to guard in your respective leagues?
I would say me, but Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is very tough to guard, only because he's 7 feet, doing everything imaginable.
Arike Agumawale, one of my toughest people to guard, simply because she's so versatile, she's so quick, her handle, her ability to be shifty. She comes off a million ball screens that I got to guard. So she's definitely one of the toughest people that can literally cross half court, hit you with a 3, come at you full speed, hit you with something shifty to get to the rim, and she can finish through contact from our bigs. So she's definitely one of my toughest matchups.
Being successful Black athletes with influence, do either of you feel pressured to respond to social justice issues?
It's funny because us as athletes, they always ask us, do we feel like it's an obligation? Do you feel like you have to say something? Like, we don't have to. But I think what motivates me is knowing that I come from those environments. Like, I came from that. And I still have family and friends still living in those environments. And I'm their voice. Right? I'm their voice. And that's kind of how I look at it. And on top of it, I'm a human being. I'm a citizen, just like everybody else. If I take this jersey off, just like I'm in normal street clothes, I can go outside today. I'm a citizen. I'm not a basketball player right now. But I'm a basketball player right now, right? I'm a father right now. So like that doesn't change. I'm just like everybody else in the world. And so it's not pressure. But I think the only thing is we understand what comes with it. We understand there'll be backlash, and like Natasha and I, we don't really care about that.
No, I fully agree. I don't think it's pressure at all. I don't know for Brad, but for me, I feel a little bit of a sense of responsibility with this God-given platform that I do have. Because if I don't speak up, then I do a disservice to a lot of people that look like me and face the same struggles that we do every day. So you see us on the court and, it's Bradley Beal, it's Natasha Cloud, but when we take those uniforms off, we live through the same things. I know both me and Brad have been pulled over in DC, and they have been scary situations. Like, this is our reality every single day. And so just that responsibility of knowing that, yeah, we didn't sign up to be role models or to be outspoken, but we inherited those responsibilities because God gave us these platforms.
Yeah. Natasha, any last words?
My biggest thing that I always tell kids is know your why. Know why you're doing what you're doing, who you're doing it for. It's something I have tattooed on me. It kind of keeps me 10 toes down because life is crazy. Your sport is crazy. This world is crazy. But if you know your why, then nothing can knock you off track. And then again, what me and Brad said, embrace your journey, embrace who you are, embrace every facet of it, because tomorrow is never promised. And I think as Black and brown men and women, we see that every single day in our daily lives. Like, tomorrow is never promised. So be present, embrace every moment, cherish every moment.
Like I said earlier, I'm a huge fan of the E word, embracing. Like, I feel like that's put me into this, like, the realm I'm in now of peace, of comfort, of working hard, of being happy. Like, that's another thing. enjoy your life.
Mhm.
Enjoy life. It is precious. It is beautiful. What we do as human beings is beautiful. We have unbelievable gifts and talents, and it's our job to explore them, and it's our job to perfect them. And you put those right along with your goals in life, and humble and hungry is my motto. You know, whatever you achieve in life, you're humble with it, but you're always hungry for more.